It's Thursday, October 6th. Good day and good evening. Depends on the time of day you're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. I'm GHK Lall on the National Outlook. From last Thursday's Kaieteur News, the Peeping Tom column, I've started reading him or her recently. Is the United States dictating Guyana's foreign policy? Well, I'm going to get straight to the chase here. I'm going to scratch out foreign policy. Is the United States running Guyana? My fellow Guyanese, is the United States of America running Guyana? Is it dictating to our leaders what they must do, what they must not do, where they must go and not go, who they must deal with and not deal with? I think they are. I think the United States is. I'm going to say that for a third time. I think that the United States, of which I am a citizen, is running the show here. They do so behind the scenes. They do so behind the curtains, on the ground, and the public will never know about this. The government will deny it. The opposition may say something along the same lines. And the U.S. Embassy will remain as silent as a tomb, because nobody wants to go near there. But look at what's happening. China. The Americans have said that, hey, listen, we don't like so many Chinese businesses around there. And the government, the PPP government, made some polite noises. Well, we're a sovereign nation, and we don't want to get caught up in other people's quarrels. Very nice. Very nice for public consumption. But peel back the layer there, pull back the curtain, and what do you have? We have where Chinese companies, quite rightly, are being shown the door. In other words, they're not as welcome as before in terms of contracts. The Americans, we're hearing about them going to be involved in studying hydro feasibility, and they're going to be in this and that. I think the Americans are going to be involved in that 110 million, US, for the refurbishment, revitalization, rehabilitation of the Linden Highway. That was built by B.B. McCormick, I remember, under Burnham. It lasted for close to 50 years. Pretty good thing, although it's been deteriorating recently. So I can see an American road building there. I'd be very, very surprised to see a Chinese company there. So that's one. The Americans call on our president and vice president, very, very short notice, very quietly, and the next thing you know, they've dropped everything. The president was going every night to the housing expo, and they appear in Washington, and they're being lectured about governing and inclusion and that kind of stuff. I mean, we're a nation. We're not some group of beggars. We're a nation with oil. We're a nation with lots of natural resources. And look, as bad as he was, or as some people claim that he was, and he was, you could see the Americans doing that to Forbes Burnham and getting away with that. Even Cheddy Jagan? Hell no. And I hope that broadcast people don't put a lash on me for that hell. But anyhow, being that as it may, you could see Burnham or Jagan rolling over and say, yes, sir, how high you want me to jump? No, not them, not either of the two of them. They'll talk the language, but say, look, we've got to work this out. I've got to have some self-respect before my people. And I think that both our government, our top leaders, have kind of rolled over here and allowed the Americans to dictate to them what must pertain here, whether it's about China, whether it's about governing, especially when it has to do with Exxon. Anything to do with Exxon, the Guyana government has to go very, very carefully, which is why the vice president doesn't want to have anything at all to do with that four-letter word called renegotiation. Yes, I said it, four-letter word, renegotiation. It's not four, it's about 12 or 13. So, but here's the bottom line. America doesn't want it, so Guyana is not going to get it, and the government is not going to go there. America is running this country, and I hope that they are listening to this program. I'm GHK Lall on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Thank you for listening to the National Outlook.